Comida era o único prazer que a gente tinha.
Would she survive the hospital stay? Would she be eligible for surgery? Would she make it to another episode? Viewers watched in horror but fascination as they watched a woman who seemed on the verge of catastrophe. That storyline, the inspirational underdog who refused to die, belongs to Tammy, not TLC, which is why the timing of her rumored new career move feels so perfect. She is no longer a cautionary tale, but a success story, and she knows she can sell that story herself without TLC twisting it into melodrama. However, the disaster storyline is gone now. Tammy defied the odds, lost weight, gained independence, and shocked the world by proving everyone wrong. Imagine Tammy starting her own YouTube channel and vlogging every day about her life after losing weight, her health advice, and her personal reflections. Millions of people would watch. Imagine Tammy starting a fitness clothing line for plus-size women who want comfort and style while working toward better health. She would instantly gain credibility because she has been there herself. Or imagine Tammy traveling the nation as a public speaker, inspiring others by sharing her story, not as a TLC character, but as a real person who overcame the possible. More startling, what if Tammy signed a contract with Netflix, Hulu, or Amazon Prime for a solo documentary? An unvarnished, unadulterated look into her life, the hardships TLC omitted, the personal suffering, the unvarnished truth. A documentary like that could expose not only Tammy's story, but also TLC's exploitative practices. Viewers would see the truth behind reality TV, and TLC's meticulously crafted portrayal of Tammy would fall apart in an instant. Tammy may be late to the game, but she is now realizing the same thing. Why let TLC profit when she can build her own brand? With millions of devoted fans ready to follow her, Tammy no longer needs TLC. TLC needs her. Tammy has reportedly realized that she could be earning 10 times more on her own, even though TLC pays her just enough to keep her dependent. Reality stars like the Kardashians and Honey Boo learned early how to turn TV fame into business empires. It's a classic tale of the student outgrowing the teacher, the star outshining the network, and TLC executives are apparently in a panic. The irony here is brutal. TLC made Tammy a star by taking advantage of her suffering. And now that she has changed into a stronger, healthier, and more independent person, she no longer needs the very machine that made her famous. Tammy is not biting, according to insiders, because she is tired of promises that never materialize. She is tired of signing away her image, and she is tired of being a product when she can finally be the producer of her own life. TLC has reportedly already attempted to lock Tammy into new contracts that offer her more creative control and higher pay. The only options left to TLC are to sue her for breach of contract if she really tries to leave, try to prevent her from signing with rival companies, or even try to spin the story by portraying her as ungrateful or difficult in order to damage her reputation. The problem is that Tammy has something she has never had before. The fans are on her side. For years, viewers criticized her for her decisions. But now they see her as a fighter. A woman who overcame her weight and a woman who overcame both her weight and the network that attempted to keep her down. If TLC goes to war with Tammy, they run the risk of alienating the very audience that made 1,000-Pound Sisters a hit. And that leads us to the most important question of all. Will Tammy's new career move truly cause 1,000-Pound Sisters to end? The shocking answer is that it will. Without Tammy, the show loses its focal point. Amy's journey as a mother is interesting. Amanda's candor is amusing. And Chris's weight loss is motivational. But none of them make headlines like Tammy does. She is the show's emotional hook, the cliffhanger, the controversy, and the show's heart. Without Tammy, 1,000-Pound Sisters would just be another family reality show. With her, it's a phenomenon. The show would be a ghost of its former self if Tammy left, and TLC might have to cancel it within a season as fans would leave, ratings would plummet, and Tammy's independent career would take viewers with it. Ultimately, Tammy could ruin the very show that made her famous. Not intentionally, but just because she outgrew it. Perhaps the most startling aspect of all is that although Tammy isn't attempting to bring an end to 1-Pound Sisters, she may end up ruining one of TLC's most successful franchises in the process. In 2025, everyone will be watching, wondering if Tammy will continue to be bound to TLC and allow them to mold her story for profit and viewership, or if she will finally break free and enter a career that is solely hers with no producers, no contracts, no edits, just Tammy telling her own story. Whatever Tammy Slayton decides, it will be explosive. Her shocking new career move is about freedom, not fame or money. And if it means ending £1,000 sisters, then so be it. This is because Tammy Slayton has finally come to the realization that her story is hers. And no network can take that away from her any longer. It's possible that 2025 will be regarded as the year Tammy Slayton not only transformed her life, but also reality television. The unfolding legal battle between Tammy and Amy Slayton and TLC has quickly escalated into one of the most polarizing and consequential disputes in the history of modern reality television, not only because of the immediate impact on the sisters' careers and personal lives, but also because of the broader questions it raises about the ethics, power dynamics, and hidden machinery behind unscripted programming that has become a cultural phenomenon in the United States and abroad. And as analysts, fans, and industry insiders examine every twist in the case, the story becomes less about the details of leaked contracts or individual episodes of £1,000 Sisters and more about how reality television itself functions as a business that thrives on personal exposure, emotional vulnerability, and an uneasy exchange between stars who give their lives to the cameras and corporations that monetize those lives, often at great human cost. And while some defenders of TLC argue that the network has every right to enforce contractual obligations, particularly if confidential material was leaked or filming was disrupted, others insist that the sisters, who have laid bare their health crises, family conflicts, and deeply personal struggles for public consumption, were effectively cornered into a system where saying no was never a real option and where production pressures often blurred the line between voluntary performance and coercion, which raises the question of whether the current lawsuit is not only about alleged breaches of contract but also about a network attempting to remind its entire roster of reality stars who holds the ultimate power, sending a chilling message across the industry that talent who push back may be punished severely, financially, and publicly, even if they have been the very faces that built the franchise's success. In the case of Amy Slayton, close friends describe her as particularly shaken by the lawsuit, not only because of the financial implications, millions of dollars in damages are reportedly being sought, but also because of the personal stress it adds to an already fragile period in her life, with sources noting that Amy has long struggled with maintaining stability for her children while managing the aftereffects of years in the spotlight, where her parenting choices, weight struggles, and relationships were dissected by fans and critics alike. And now she faces the possibility of losing not only her livelihood but also the one narrative framework, the show, that gave her a form of structured identity after years of being dismissed by society, a loss that could feel existential in ways that outsiders may underestimate, while Tammy, though perhaps more outwardly combative, is said to be privately devastated as well, particularly given her ongoing health issues and the reality that her battle for mobility, independence, and dignity has played out under intense public scrutiny, sometimes empowering her as an icon of resilience but often leaving her exposed to ridicule, judgment, and the crushing weight of expectations from an audience that paradoxically demands both authenticity and entertainment from people living with very real pain. The fan response, as seen on TikTok, Instagram, Reddit, and Twitter, reflects the degree to which the Slayton sisters' lives have become deeply entangled with viewers' own emotional landscapes, as hashtags such as #SaveTheSlaytons and #JusticeForTammy trended alongside more skeptical or hostile takes, illustrating that for many fans, watching the show was never just casual entertainment but a ritual of empathy, judgment, hope, and projection, where audiences could both root for the sisters' progress and vent frustration when setbacks occurred, a dynamic that reveals how reality television functions not merely as spectacle but as a mirror for viewers' own insecurities, triumphs, and family dynamics, which helps explain why the current lawsuit has sparked such fervent debate. Fans are not only defending or condemning Tammy and Amy but also defending or condemning the part of themselves that has been invested in the Slayton journey for years. Industry experts, meanwhile, warn that the ramifications of the lawsuit extend far beyond the fate of one show, as a victory for TLC could embolden networks to pursue aggressive legal action against other stars who resist directives, leak information, or attempt to assert creative control, while a countersuit or public exposure of internal documents could crack open the carefully maintained facade of reality production, revealing the extent to which stars are pressured to reenact scenes, exaggerate conflicts, or even compromise their health for the sake of ratings, revelations that could ignite broader debates about labor protections, informed consent, and the ethical obligations of corporations profiting from vulnerable individuals, particularly those dealing with medical conditions, poverty, or trauma, which are often the very narratives reality TV thrives on. Already, whispers in Hollywood suggest that other reality stars are watching the Slayton case closely, with some reportedly contacting lawyers to review their contracts or seeking renegotiations that would give them more agency over how their stories are edited, distributed, and monetized, a trend that, if it gains momentum, could reshape the power balance in the genre in ways that mirror the shifts seen in the music industry when artists began challenging record labels for ownership of masters. Or in professional sports when players demanded free agency, and while it may be premature to call this the beginning of a revolution in reality TV, the possibility alone demonstrates how high the stakes are in what on the surface might look like just another celebrity network clash. The escalating lawsuit between Tammy and Amy Slayton and the TLC network has become one of the most widely discussed and closely followed disputes in recent reality television history, with observers cautioning that this case is not merely about contract violations or financial disagreements but about power, narrative control, and the very essence of reality television itself, raising questions that cut deep into how the genre is produced, marketed, and consumed, and as court dates approach and the drama intensifies, the entertainment industry, the fan base, and even other reality stars are watching with a mixture of fascination, dread, and expectation, recognizing that whatever the outcome, it will alter the course of 1,000-pound sisters and perhaps reshape the entire reality television landscape. When word of the lawsuit first spread, a mixture of amazement, rage, and sadness erupted on social media, with fans flooding TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube comment sections with messages of both outrage and solidarity, and almost instantly, hashtags like #SaveTheSlaytons, #JusticeForTammy and Amy, and #TLCCandle began trending, demonstrating not only the sisters' cultural impact but also the degree of emotional investment viewers have placed in their journey and in the online discourse. That followed, two camps quickly emerged, one faction defending the sisters passionately and accusing TLC of exploiting their personal hardships for financial gain only to abandon them when the consequences became messy, and another arguing that the sisters may have pushed the boundaries too far by missing filming commitments, violating confidentiality agreements, and engaging in unpredictable conduct that ultimately forced the network to act, and these heated debates grew into one of the most polarized fan controversies reality television has seen, with viewers analyzing every leaked episode, production rumor, and alleged court filing to build their case for or against the Slaytons. Yet beyond the swirl of fan arguments, the legal case carries profound implications for the show itself and for the network's future strategy, because production insiders confirm that if the legal dispute continues unresolved, TLC executives may seriously consider canceling 1,000-pound sisters outright, and the thought of pulling the plug on one of the network's most popular and talked-about programs has shocked industry observers, who point out that a termination would not only devastate Tammy and Amy's careers but also impact hundreds of crew members, multiple sponsors, advertisers, and TLC's own brand identity, creating ripple effects throughout the industry.